Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I am Jason. As always, my co-host, Mr. Zack Partridge, and Baby Jay's in the house with us.
Baby Jay, happy baby in the house.
Baby's in the house. We also got Joel Haro joining us today to help us a little bit with our breakdown. Joel, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me back.
I am still sore from Wednesday's workout with you guys.
Hey, man, don't blame that on me. I didn't beat you up. I think that was Steve.
I'll blame it on Steve. We'll blame it on Steve then. We're going to blame it on Steve. It's his fault. Yeah, I'm not used to doing those types of workouts, and I'm like, oh, man, dude, my legs are so sore. Holy crap.
Man, we had a lot of fun, though. Me and LJ Schultz came down from one hit, and then Jason came, did absolute, and we got some good rounds in. It was a good time.
Good times, good times.
Really.
Well, are you guys ready to break down some fights for tomorrow night? UFC 260 pay-per-view, Stipe and Ngannou.
Let's do it.
Can we all just agree, though, besides Stipe and Ngannou, this is like a fight night card at best?
Yes.
I can agree with you on that.
You know what?
They've lost so many big fights off this. They lost the T-City and Volkanovski fight.
That was huge.
Johnny Walker, Jimmy Crute was supposed to be on this fight. Hannah Goldie versus Jessica Penne was supposed to be on this. Marcin Tybura versus Bologi Ivanov was supposed to be on this fight. It's like, man, this card was going to be stacked. And then it's like, but it's probably going to be great.
I'm not going to be able to watch it live because I'm going to be up in Logan at the Mountain Force fights watching those. So I was a little disappointed that I wasn't going to see it, but now that all the fights dropped off, I was like, nah, I don't really care. It's fine. I'll take it. All right. Well, let's break these fights down, man. Let's give you guys some picks. Hopefully we can win some money this week. All right. We're going to start prelims. First fight of the night is Abu Azaitar and Marc-Andre Barrout. I don't probably said his name wrong, but you know who I'm talking about. Azaitar, he is 14-2-1, 35 years old, 185 pounds. I don't have his reach here on Tapology. Marco Barrout is 11-4, 31 years old, 6'1", and a 73-inch reach. Joel, since you're our guest, we'll let you go first, man. What do you think about this fight? Who do you like?
It's a very tough one. I've only seen what was the first guy's name? Azaitar.
Yeah.
I've only seen him fight once. He was very impressive. So I'm going to go with him. I felt like his stand-up in the previous fight that I watched him fight. I don't remember exactly. His stand-up was very impressive to me, at least. So I'm going with him.
All right. There you heard it. What do you think, Zach? What's your take on this one?
Hear who Joel said. My end cut out a little bit.
Azaitar. He's taking Azaitar.
Joel, who did you pick?
Azaitar.
I'm going with Azaitar.
So me and Joel are 2-0 on this one. I think it's a little bit of a coin flip, right? There's a couple things that I look at though. Our boy Mark, the Canadian, Andre Barrout, he is 0-3 in the UFC, and it's like with the end as well with a no contest, but 0-3 and it's like some guys are world beaters outside the UFC, and then the bright lights just get to him a little bit, and I'm wondering if that's the case for him. Azaitar's he's only 1-0 in the UFC, but he's just not very active. Hasn't fought since 2018. Always interested to see how guys come back after a long layoff like that. It's been it'll be just 4 months shy of 3 years since he's been in the octagon, and you see a upgraded version, like a much better evolved version of the fighter, or I'm a personal believer is ring rust is mental, right? If they believe in it and are worried about it, it's going to be a problem. If they don't and they've been putting in the work, it's not. I am leaning to Abu as well, but I think it's a coin flip fight, and you get a slight on the betting odds with him. So I would take Abu.
Azaitar's actually, I'm looking at bestfightodds.com. He's an underdog, plus 105. Barrout is the minus 125 favorite in this fight.
Right,
so
just a slight bit of value on him. I think that's what has me leaning that way.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna follow. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go the opposite way with you guys. I'm gonna say Baru gets his W on this one.
You think he finally
You
gets
guys,
a UFC win?
you guys almost had me convinced to switch, but I'm not. I'm gonna stay with my original pick on here.
Lame.
So,
Oh,
so and just a side note, Mark Andre, he technically won his last fight, actually pretty impressive fashion, but he popped for Osterine, so it became a no decision.
oh, so he's a cheater.
So he was on the juice.
Good for him.
He was on the juice. It was SARMs. I don't really call that steroids. SARMs aren't steroids. That's whatever.
Is it a performance enhancer for those that don't know?
Yeah,
no,
but you can.
Jason, is it or isn't it? Like, we know weed isn't a performance enhancer. Like, we negate. I don't care if you pop for weed, but is this a performance enhancing drug?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. Well, see, this is where I'm going to question it, because it's used to gain lean body mass, right? How does that help him in a fight? It's like me getting in a fight. Like, I lift weights. I don't fight. Like, I just don't know how that would help him, but I get it, I guess.
It's cheating.
It's cheating. Joel, what do you think? Is it cheating? Is it cheating, Joel?
Like Nate Diaz said, everybody's on steroids, so who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's cheating. To answer your question, it's cheating for sure.
Yeah.
It's cheating.
Well, all right, let's skip that. So we're 2-1. I'm going the opposite way of you guys. So we'll circle back on Monday for the results on these. But next up, this should be a really fun fight. We got Shane Young, 13-5. He's 13-5 record, 27 years old, 5'8" with a 72.5 reach. And he's fighting Omar Morales, who's 10-1. He's 35 years old, 5'11", and a 74-inch reach advantage. So Morales coming in, he's a little bit bigger, a little bit older. Joel, let's kick it back to you, man. What do you think? Who do you got in this one?
Oh man, why you gotta make me go first?
We'll go to Zack. We'll let Zack get it. We'll go to you, Joel.
For me, this is a tough one. Yeah, go to Zack first.
Okay. You go to me on this. Just to answer Jeffrey's question, there's 10 fights on this card right now, but you can come to me. This fight is pretty interesting. I really like Shane Young. He has good experience. He showed well. His last fight was on the Adesanya Costa card, which was full of a bunch of city kickboxing guys. We all know we like city kickboxing guys, but he also got head kicked and punched out on that night. It wasn't the greatest night for him. He loses to good guys, right? His only loss before that in the UFC was to Alexander Volkanovski, now the featherweight champ. He's got a lot of experience, which I like, but I'm going with Omar Morales. He's a ginormous featherweight. He's huge for featherweight. And I think I know Shane Young has the experience in the cage, but I think that, being 35 and having that type of size advantage and being able to cut that much weight, I think he's just going to be too big for him, and he's going to overwhelm him a little bit. And his only loss was to Giga Chikadze. He lost a tough decision fight there. So I think Omar Morales gets it done here and gets back on the winning track. UFC Contender Series winner. He's won on Bellator. He's 2-1 in the UFC. So yeah, that's I dig it.
I am Joel dropped out on us. He's having a little bit of connection problems. So
yep,
that's all right. I'm actually going to go the opposite, man. I'm going 2 underdogs right in a row, right to bang off the card. We're going to be opposite right off the bat. And everything you said, I agree with. I usually will go with the bigger guy, the older guy. But I think Shane's making improvements, man. I watched a couple of his last fights, even though the last one didn't go his way. The one before that, I thought he looked really good against Arnett, and he was a little bit undersized on that one. Arnett's bigger, longer, and he was able to get it. He was able to get inside. And I like the city kickboxing guy, so I think he rewrites the ship, and I think he ends up getting the W. I'm gonna go with the underdog, the plus 165 underdog.
Okay, I dig it, and I don't hate the pick at all, but I will say this.
Yeah,
we love the city kickboxing guys, right?
Yeah,
their record hasn't been very good lately.
It really hasn't.
If you paid attention to being like, yeah, we like the city kickboxing guys, I was like, go look at all the city kickboxing guys. Their record hasn't been great lately.
No, they really haven't.
I mean,
they really haven't.
sometimes we should step back and reevaluate. Maybe it's like, just because Israel Adesanya is the best 185er on the planet, it's not even close.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean the rest of the team's special.
Yeah.
I mean, they have good coaches. They have success. Dan Hooker's a good fighter. Shane Young's good fighter. Like, they have good fighters, but it doesn't mean it's like, hey, we're at City Kickboxing. We're that, like, to me, City Kickboxing is not, I don't mean to be disrespectful. They're not like AKA, ATT, you know what I mean? Like the other big ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like those guys can lose too, and that's okay. So I'm going to Omar Morales on this, actually, kind of because of that, because I kind of feel like I rode City Kickboxing too much before, and now I'm like, if I take that element out of it, who do I like? Because I almost immediately went, oh, Shane Young, City Kickboxing. I'm like, let me look at this.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good fight, though. I actually think it's going to be a very, very good fight.
These first three fights, I think, really are, because this next one we're going to talk about, you could really flip a coin and it could go either way.
Absolutely.
Who shows up? So I'm going to roll with the underdogs. All right, let's jump into the next fight. We got a light heavyweight matchup against Modestas Bukauskas against Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I had it down last night and then I screwed it all up. Anyways, Modestas is 11-3, 27 years old, 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. And Mikhail is 14-4 record, 26 years old, 6 foot tall, and a 74-inch reach advantage. So Bukauskas, a little bit bigger, which I think he's pretty big for light heavyweight. 6'3", 78-inch reach. He's a big light heavyweight.
He's got a good frame for light heavyweight, where Michael, call him Michael.
I listened to it like 3 times last night. I should have listened to it right before we came on.
Yeah, really interesting is they both of their last fight, they lost to Jimmy Crute. And so, you have two guys that are coming off losses to the same guy. Michael, actually, though, coming off back-to-back losses against OSP, who lost to the Von Fluchoke. Weird, right? That's his game. Who was undefeated in the UFC before that at 3-0, or 2-0 with a no contest against Khalil Roundtree. I don't know where you're at on this. I don't even know what the betting odds are on this, but I like Michael Oleksiejczuk or whatever.
He's a minus 175 favorite.
Okay, favorite. So he's a little bit of the favorite. I'm leaning this way towards it, just because too. Like, I like his experience better. I think that the Baltic Gladiator Modestas Bukauskas is, he's got a big young frame, but got knocked out by Jimmy Crute. He won on retirement against a guy in his UFC debut, but other than that, he was just kind of running through dudes in Cage Warriors. I don't know. It's gonna be a banger, dude. This one's gonna be I mean, how can you go against Polish Power right now, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to bet against the Polish Power right now. Very hard to bet against the Polish Power.
But I will say this: Oleksiejczuk.
Yeah,
did that sound close? His losses are bolted by submission, right? A Kimura, and
Kimura and the Von.
And then so 3 of his 4 losses and then it was a triangle choke. So I kind of like, if he could keep this on the feet and keep it on the ground, like I kind of like him to win the striking here. He's a good striker, good kicks. So I think the Polish Power gets it done.
I am going to concur on this one. Did you already say they both lost? Did you already mention that they both lost to Jimmy Crute in their last fight?
That was actually like the first thing I said.
Sorry,
it's very weird. Very weird. No, it's cool.
It is crazy. All right, we're both on the favorite on that one. Next up, we're still in the prelims. Jared Gordon, he's fighting Abu Akar Nurmagomedov. He is Khabib's cousin. Jared Gooden's 17-5, 27 years old, 6 foot tall with a 77-inch reach. And Nurmagomedov is 15-3-1, 31 years old, 5'11", and he has a 73-inch reach. So a little bit of height and reach advantage with Gooden.
I don't care. I don't.
You're not
care.
betting. We don't bet against the Russians.
And we certainly don't bet against Russians that are last name with Nurmagomedov.
He did lose his last fight by
I
triangle
don't
choke.
care. I don't care. I don't care. I mean, he lost by triangle choke. Like, okay, he's lost by rear naked choke, and let's see. David Zawada beat him.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Who just lost to, I mean, but anyways, regardless, no, it's not enough. I don't think it happens again. So I'm going Nurmagomedov. Like what are the betting odds? I don't even know.
He's Nurmagomedov is minus 240. And the comeback is plus 200 on Gooden.
I mean, a draw, his last 4 fights is loss, win, draw, loss.
A draw's plus 5,500 if you want to go this fight as a draw.
No. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
2 fights ago, he had a draw in PFL. He was a PFL contestant. I don't know. I like Jared Gooden, actually. I think he's a good fighter. He lost a unanimous decision in his last fight to Alan Jouban. Jouban is a crafty veteran, 39 years old, that he just keeps finding a way to get wins when he needs to. Here's the thing for me with Gooden. This would be a huge stamp and a good, legitimate win in the UFC.
Yeah.
He's 0-1 in the UFC. He lost to Alan Jouban in his UFC debut, a guy that's 39 years old in one of the toughest divisions. That 39, for me personally, if you're an up and comer that has a bright future ahead of you,
yeah,
you're not losing to a 39-year-old at welterweight.
No, I agree.
So I'll take Nurmagomedov in this, and I'm pretty confident in it.
All right, so maybe he's a good piece to play on. He's plus 115 if you like this fight to go to decision.
I do like that.
That's
I do like
you're,
that.
You're getting plus money there. You're getting a little bit of value on that one.
I dig.
All right. Next up, we got another light heavyweight. This is actually a short notice fight. Alonzo Menifield's fighting Fabio Serrant. Menefield is 9-2, 6 foot tall, 76-inch reach advantage. He is fighting Fabio Serrant, who's coming in on short notice. 26 years old, 6'1" with a 76-inch reach advantage. I don't know if this is good or bad for Serrant to be making his UFC debut against Menefield.
No. No.
You're like,
this is a tall order for somebody making their UFC debut. This is a tall order. Alonzo Menfield was scheduled to fight William Knight, who Knight got COVID protocol, so he got pulled from the card earlier this week. And that fight, I think, was going to be just fireworks. I mean, that was actually one of the fights I was just really looking forward to on this. Menfield, though, he lost the unanimous decision to Devin Clark. He actually had a really good fight and was doing really well against OSP till OSP caught him with a check hook and dropped him. Yeah. But, he has good wins in the UFC. He holds a win over knocking out Paul Craig. It's a good win. Dana White Contender Series winner, won in 8 seconds, put a dude's lights out. LFA, he has 2 wins on the Dana White Contender Series. Yeah. 2 in 3-0 in LFA, made his pro debut on Bellator. I just love I like his resume. I like who he's beat, and he's only lost to studs too. His 2 guys he lost to were studs. And it's like, that is he's got Fabio's got a chance to make his name and make a statement
for sure.
This is a tall task.
Yeah, I like the LFA experience with the guy because he's got a couple wins in LFA, which usually hold a lot of weight. But if you look at the rest of his who he's fought nobody.
Well, they're both LFA guys.
2, 3,
they're both
4,
LFA guys.
5, 6, 7, 8. His first 9 fights, total combined win record 7. 7 wins are the guys he's fought in 9 fights. I just don't think he has quite the experience. He lost on the Contender Series to Kamar, who's a stud. But yeah, I think Menifield's he's just going to be too much for him.
I think he's going to be too much for him. And short notice, I understand you got to be ready, and I like it. You know, he just fought last month, so I mean, he can't be like out of shape, but he doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't exactly knock my socks off either.
Yeah.
So
agreed. I probably
good
lay
luck,
off this one from a betting standpoint, but
no way. I think Menfield is money. I like Menfield a lot on this. I would tie that to some. I would tie that in some parlays.
Nurmagomedov, maybe. Ooh.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's a good start. That's a good start.
Parlay. All right, let's get into the main card. We have first fight on the main card. Sorry, I'm pulling up my screen here. Jamie Malarkey, he's 12-4, fighting Kamaru Worthy, who is 16-7. Jamie Malarkey, 26 years old, 6 foot tall, 74-inch reach advantage. Kamaru Worthy, 16-7 record, which I just talked about, 5'11" and 74-inch reach advantage. So these guys are. Malarkey's the younger fighter. He's only 26. He's fighting Worthy. He's 34. Worthy's a little bit older. But as far as everything else, these guys are pretty much dead even.
Yeah, really interesting to see how this fight plays out. Malarkey, you know, he hasn't had the greatest showing in the UFC. I believe he's 0-2, if I'm not mistaken. 0-2 for the Australian. Yep, he's 0-2 in the UFC, but you know, tall orders too, right? Brad Riddle and Farasiam, like he's lost 2 tough fights, and I think that Worthy is too much of an athlete and a little too strong and powerful for him. Malarkey is very durable though; he can take a lot of damage, and he keeps coming. So I like Worthy. It's a coin flip fight, and I like Worthy, but I love the over, or on our book, round 3 starts as -120.
Ooh, I like that. I thought you were going to go Malarkey.
I'm not going Malarkey on it, but because he's so durable, and Worthy definitely has the power to put anybody's lights out. But Malarkey's, I think he's good. I just think he's just outmatched athletically, and I think that'll be the difference in this fight.
I agree. I'm going to go with that. And I do like the
round 3 starts as -120.
-120. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I may even sprinkle a little bit on Worthy by TKO. Maybe. We'll see. We'll have to finish.
That's not a bad one.
All right. Next up, we got Jillian Robertson. She's 9-5, 5'5", 63-inch reach against Miranda Maverick. She's 8-2, 126 pounds, 5'3", and a 65-inch reach. The battle of the young guns, which it doesn't seem like Robertson's like a young. Did you call her a young gun? Like, she seems like she's. I mean, how many fights has she had in the UFC now?
She's so active. She's so active.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She was on the Ultimate Fighter back in 2017. Like, dude, she's all over the place.
She's as active as anybody. Active as anybody. Her last AME win, I'm looking at her Tapology. Her last AME win, Cheyenne Baez.
Oh, well, interesting.
So
how do you see this fight?
I thought that was fun. So there, one of 2 ways. One thing I will say against Julian Roberts. This fight was supposed to happen a couple weeks ago. We lost it to COVID. Right? What was it? Or last month, but we lost it to COVID. The one thing that I love about Jillian Roberts is even when she's not getting fights, she's doing competing in grappling competition. Actually just beat Pearl Gonzalez on a submission underground 20 via rear naked choke. Really like how active she stays in fighting. And then when she can't get to fight, she's competing in grappling tournaments. The one thing we saw against the Talia Santos when she lost that unanimous decision, we know how tough she is. And Jillian Roberts is super tough and super durable. And she's a great grappler, but she almost has a little bit too much confidence in her grappling, and she gets very content to just stay on the bottom and hang out on the bottom, trying to look for submissions. And she's good at them. She's very slick. She's very, very slick with her sweeps, submissions off of her back. All those things. If she doesn't decide to just hang out on her back, I think she wins this fight. But if she tries to like pull guard like she did against Talia Santos and is comfortable hanging off of her back, she has to pull off an incredible submission, which she's capable of. But I just don't like a fighter if that's your game plan. Like I'll fight off my back for 3 rounds and I'll catch her in something. That's not a good strategy optically for the judges. Unless you pull it off, you're going to lose every time. Yeah. So, and Miranda Maverick is a strong girl and a good grappler in her own right.
Yeah.
That's not somebody I'm very comfortable with Julian Roberts hanging out on the bottom with. So I think I'm going to go with Julian Robertson here to get the win. I am, but that is contingent on me hoping that she stays off her back because she's shown progression in her striking and things. I want her to be the aggressor and I want her to get in good positions and not give them up. And I think she wins this fight. If not though, I think Miranda Maverick could have kind of maul her. I think this fight could go one of 2 ways. So I'm just kind of hoping that it goes Julian's way off the aspect of, I think if she has a smart game plan, she could win this fight.
You pretty much laid out the blueprint because I'm pretty much going to echo everything you said. It really just depends on which Robertson shows up. Like I don't think it's smart for her. She
always comes to fight.
I think it's a bad idea for her to try to stand and bang with Miranda. I mean, you saw what she did to Juwan.
Yeah. No, you don't want to. I don't want her standing and banging with her. I want her to get in good positions on the ground and not just once Miranda Maverick gets on top. I don't want her to just hang out on the bottom. Yeah. And I think she wins the fight as long as she does that. Dude, what up, Tanner?
If you are feeling froggy and want to throw Robertson by submissions, plus 355. Tempting. I think if Robertson wins, I think she's gonna have to catch Maverick because I'm gonna lead towards the side of I think Miranda's just gonna be too powerful for her. And I think she'll be able to, but like you said, I could see Robertson slapping on a submission and ending her night too. So
she's not, dude. Miranda Maverick's a good submissions herself.
Yeah,
Julian Robertson, like, dude, she's a little savage, dude. She'll get after it. She's not afraid. She's not afraid to bleed either. She'll take a beating down there and she'll keep going after it.
Yeah, her last fight with who was it? It was Santos. Dude, Santos was dominating her, and she was still trying to fight for submissions. The whole fight, 3rd round, face busted open, didn't matter. She just kept going. She's the savage for a reason. You know what? I'm going to go Robertson too. I'm gonna echo exactly what you said.
I have a gut feeling. If Miranda Maverick comes out and dominates the fight, doesn't shock me at all. Don't hate it, whatever. I just have a gut feeling on this one. I don't know why.
I'm with you on that. I feel the same way. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have in the bantamweight division, we have Thomas Almeida, 22-4, fighting Sugar Sean O'Malley. He is 12-1 record. Thomas Almeida is 29 years old, 5'7" with a 70-inch reach, and Sugar is 26 years old, 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. O'Malley would, like he always is in this bantamweight division, he's going to be the bigger fighter. How do you see this one ending?
I think it ends in devastating fashion for like really bad for Thomas Almeida.
Damn it, me too. And I
think Sean O'Malley knocks him out in the 1st round.
Ooh, really?
Like, yeah, 1st or 2nd round. I think he flatlines him. Almeida, you got to remember, Almeida was a monster coming up.
Yeah,
he was destroying everybody. Didn't lose a fight from 2011 all the way through 2015. Then he runs into Cody Garbrandt, and Cody flatlines him in the 1st round. Right, and that was when Cody was only 8-0. He was
Yeah.
21-0 versus 8-0, and Cody flatlines him. And then he comes back and he gets the win, and that's great. But then he keeps, and then you loses to Cody Garbrandt, no big deal. Loses to Jimmy Rivera, no big deal. Loses to Rob Font, no big deal.
No big
right?
deal. Yeah.
Loses to Jonathan Martinez. Not hating on my boy Jonathan Martinez, but it's like that, like that. When you're fighting elite guys and losing to elite guys, it doesn't bug me. Like Jimmy Rivera, his losses, who cares? He loses to nothing but elite guys.
Yeah.
Right? Marlon Moraes, same thing. Loses to nothing but elite guys. They might not be in that top 2 or 3 of the division anymore, but they beat people the people they're supposed to beat, they beat them.
Yeah.
Well, I have to agree with Jeffrey Prado Morales here. Cody changed he changed some things, and he still carries power in his hands, but I think once that confidence of an undefeated fighter who came up as 21-0, I think once it shook, you don't really see people get it back.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough.
And then the way that O'Malley is like still saying he's an undefeated fighter and not like owning up that he lost and stuff. By the way, everybody that's getting mad about it, he is trolling everybody. He knows. He just knows it's pissing people off and getting a reaction. He's a podcaster and internet guy. Like, he's big on Twitch and all that stuff. Like, that's all he's going for. Like, he wants people to tune in. He's being a goofball. He's a complete goofball. I don't know if you follow him on TikTok, but his videos don't. I
deleted it.
Dude, they don't even make sense. His videos don't even make sense. It's ridiculous. He's a goofball, but he wants you to tune in, love him or hate him, right? It's like Connor. Yeah. He's got that it factor where he like sucks people in, and you either watch him to watch him lose or to watch him win because you're a fan. But either way, you're going to watch it. There's a reason why it's called The Sugar Show. Everybody tunes in to watch that guy. He's entertaining. And I still think he's special. I think he's super special.
I want to see him lose. I just don't think he loses.
Why do you want to see him lose?
You
don't like him.
No, I'm not a fan of the whole, I didn't lose that fight. He kicked me and it hit a nerve. Well, he did what he was supposed to do. You lost the damn fight. Just own it. Like, it drives me nuts.
He's trolling you.
I know he's trolling me. He's getting me. He's getting under my skin. And unfortunately, he's going to win tomorrow night. And I agree with you that I think he finishes it fairly quickly too. I
love it. I love how you get all agitated right after I just talked about it. This is what he's doing to troll people. And he's
trolling me. Off. He's got me. Him winning inside the distance minus 120. I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah, I think that happens for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna write that one down. That's gonna go on my official list is O'Malley inside the distance. Might have to go to the other site to find the KO prop because I think he's plus 110 by KO or TKO. Wins round 1, he's plus 200 in round 1.
I like that. I love that actually.
Thanks, Tanner. We got to get some more hats going here soon, Tanner. We're revamping a lot of stuff. We got some stuff coming down the pipe. All right, so we're both on O'Malley. We both think it's going to get done early. Even though I want to see him lose, don't see it in this fight. All right, next up, we got our co-main event. How in the hell is this fight the co-main event?
Well, because we lost like the 2 other fights that were supposed to be.
I'd rather see freaking O'Malley and Almeida than Tyron Woodley and freaking Vicente Luque. I love Luque, but no disrespect to him. But Tyron Woodley, come on, dude.
Former champ.
All right. Well, the chosen one. He's 38 years old, 5'9", 74-inch reach against the silent assassin. He is 29 years old, 5'11", 76-inch reach. How do you see this fight?
Lock of the night. That's how I see this fight.
You're calling it lock of the night.
Oh, yeah. Vicente Luque all day.
If I remember right, your lock of the night last week cashed.
Oh, yeah. Lock of the night, Vicente Luque. And I can't even believe that Vicente Luque is like a reasonable bet. Like, he should be minus 400.
Maybe
he's minus 240. No. bro, he hasn't won a round. It's not that he
What's-
just hasn't. It's not that he's just gotten dominated for 3 straight
Yeah.
fights. He hasn't won a round.
Yeah.
He is down 14-0 in 3 out of his 14 rounds in his almost 2 minutes against Colby Covington before he finally lost because of his rib popped out.
Do you remember what his punch output was? Somebody posted it. And they may have posted it in our group, and I can't remember. But
It's like
it's
it's
two
like less
punches
than
a minute
2
or something.
It's, it's nothing. Because
I don't.
it's because he's waiting to unload that cannon right hand.
Yeah.
And if people never give him the opening for it, he just never throws anything.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I tried. I tried.
Yeah.
He lost to Usman, and then you were all over Gilbert Burns, and you were dead right. And I was like, but man, if the Tyron Woodley comes back, and that was just an off night with Kamaru Usman, and he comes back, like he still has dynamites in his hand. Because I still look at the Woodley that flatlined Robbie Lawler to win the title, and I was like, geez, like that he's got a freaking nuke in his right hand, that can go off at any time. And it's like that guy, and then he did it against Gilbert Burns. And then I was like, he could still beat Colby because like he still has that nuke right hand. And then Colby just like walks right through him. And I'm just like, okay, I'm out. I tried to hang on to the T Wood train, and it'd be one thing if he was competitive in those fights. He's not even competitive.
No, he's not. That's what alarms me.
He's getting walked over by those guys. Like it would be a moral victory for him if he just wins a round out of these 3 with Luque.
Yeah, and Tanner's right. He has fought killers. Like he went through murderer's row with Colby, Burns, and Usman. Like literally the top 3 guys in that division right now. But you were the champ. Like you can't throw more than 2 punches a minute. Like I could do that. Oh, my rib, Steve says. Yeah, I think, how do you see this fight ending? Do you think it goes to a decision, or do you think Luque finishes him?
I think Woodley stays in the fight, and I can see it going to a decision. But here's the other thing. You want to talk about how good Vicente Luque is? Yeah. After the Ultimate Fighter, right? After the Ultimate Fighter, he lost a split decision and then loses his UFC debut in the finale. Okay. He's got 2 losses.
Yeah.
Leon Edwards,
yeah,
who hasn't lost in forever,
yep,
and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in a unanimous decision. He's beat everybody else.
Never been finished either.
I think I'm going to say this. Luque wins 30-27, if not 30-26. Unanimous decision.
Yeah. I think the only way Woodley wins is if he catches him, and I don't see him catching him. So I'm going to
pull the trigger.
Yeah. I'm gonna follow Tanner on this one. And I think Luque wins by decision, which if you like that, Luque by decision plus 160. I like that. I don't think he finishes T Wood. I mean, Colby just caught him. Yeah, he stays in the fights. I don't think he's going to get finished because Usman put it on him. Burns put it on him, and Colby just caught him and messed up his rib. So, anyways, all right, man. Let's get to the. I'm so stoked for this one, even though I'm going to miss it live. So stoked. Main event: Stipe Miocic against Francis the Predator Ngannou. Stipe's 20-3, 38 years old, 6'4", 80-inch reach against the Predator, 15-3, 6'4", and an 83-inch reach. So pretty similar in height and reach. Actually, not that. I mean, as far as like age, I mean, obviously Ngannou doesn't have the wear and tear that Stipe does, but let's hear your breakdown, man. Let's hear it.
So have you heard of the Madden curse?
Yes.
I think everybody that's like pays attention and is breathing in sports has heard about the Madden curse.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, every year they put a superstar on Madden, and like the next year, almost without fail, they either get injured or they fall off the face of the earth and are terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been crazy. Like Michael Vick broke his leg. Like Ray Lewis gets arrested for murder. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Peyton Hillis, nobody ever heard from him ever again.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy the way that the Mountain Curse is, how accurate and real it's been. I'm going to call this the ESPN promotion curse for Francis Ngannou. Every freaking time, and I'm going to start sounding like Matt Euler here, but every time ESPN, they get on one side of a big fight and they just push one guy. It's like, hey, by the way, there's this other guy here and he's really good.
Really good.
Yeah. Like Ronda Rousey coming back. That's all they talked about. Oh, by the way, your current champion is Amanda Nunes and she's destroying other women.
Yeah.
Maybe give her like a little bit of shine. Gave her none, and she destroyed Ronda Rousey. We just saw it with the Conor Poirier fight. It was all Conor McGregor.
Yep.
It's all Conor McGregor. And Poirier's like, cool. And he pieces him up, kicks the crap out of his leg, and then gives him his own 1-2, puts his lights out, and the memes speak for itself.
Yeah.
And it's we've already seen this fight.
That's
what people and this is what drives me crazy. Everybody says that Francis has gotten so much better, right?
But has he?
Because I look at that Rosenstruck knockout and I just see this giant human being, chin up in the air, swinging wildly like this, and they hit, and then he obliterates Rosenstruck. Like, I'm sorry, both of them for being high-level strikers or being knockout artists. They're zero technique. Zero. They were just swinging to see who could land first. And Francis's hands are fast enough. They landed first, and he's so long. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you can't tell me that Stipe hasn't gotten better either.
Well, you bring that up, and DC was actually talking about that today, and he said from his first fight to the second fight, he didn't notice much difference. He said, but that third fight, he said he was way different. He had gotten better in that third fight, and
putting in the work.
Yeah, he's putting in the work, and I mean, I'm looking at it like, how is Ngannou going to win? He's got to knock him out, right?
Has to.
Yeah. Was he 30 pounds heavier? I didn't realize he was that much. I thought he was only like 20.
No, he got cuts to 265.
Oh yeah, that's right. He does cut.
And Stipe loves to be around that 235, 240 range.
I just don't see, like you said, Francis. Yeah, maybe he has gotten better, but has he made up that much difference?
That's what, and they say he's wrestling because he's an extreme couture. That's fine, but who's really wrestling with him?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, Stipe is a boxer wrestler. Like, dude, and I'm not saying that Francis can't win. I'm not saying he doesn't have a shot. I'm not saying any of this, but the fact that everybody is sleeping on unquestionably the greatest heavyweight in UFC history.
You can't argue it. The
only argument you say he's not even the heavyweight GOAT is Fedor. But in UFC history, it's not even close.
Yeah, it's not. You can play the what if game all you want. What if Kane this and what if Kane that? But Stipe's done it.
Well, for my money, Pete Kane is still the greatest heavyweight I've ever seen. But it didn't last long enough.
Yeah.
Right. It was this little window that we saw it. It was like, oh my gosh, but he couldn't sustain it. Stipe has sustained for years. I mean,
10 years.
He has one weird loss against Struve.
He's literally been doing this for 10 years with just everybody.
Beating dudes.
Loses to Struve, loses Dos Santos, and loses to Cormier.
And by the way, here's the other thing. Francis has only seen somebody. Francis is the fireman.
Steve.
Francis is he's faced Curtis Blades twice.
Yeah.
He beat him the first time by a doctor stoppage, like a cut on his eye or whatever, and then he knocked him out. Obviously, what was it, last year or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah.
Stipe's done this. He's had his rematch with JDS. He's done his trilogy with DC. He knows what adjustments he needs to make and how to make them when he's facing somebody again.
Yep. And
Francis didn't make any adjustments from the first Curtis Blades fight to the second. His game plan was the same thing: knock him out.
Stipe going in this has to know the only way he loses is if he gets caught. He punches in the first fight. The only way he loses is if he gets caught like he did against Cormier with the perfect punch. And you saw what happened that second and third fight. Those punches Cormier was hitting him with, they weren't even a fact. He was eating them. He was eating them because he knew they were coming.
But here's the other thing. He's not going to stand in front of Francis and eat punches the way he does with DC. This is the one thing that I don't hear anybody talk about with Stipe.
Yeah.
He's got an incredible fight IQ.
Incredible. Yeah.
Incredible fight IQ. And he's not going to just be standing in front of Stipe or in front of Francis and letting Francis take those big, crazy shots at him. He's not, because if he does, he's dead. His lights are going out.
What about
Francis? This is the one thing that makes me nervous for the Stipe pick is if Francis, by the way, I'm all on Stipe. Like, for those that you don't think official pick, Stipe, like, I got Stipe winning.
Yeah.
The only thing that I see, the only way is this: they're in this small cage. They're in this tiny small cage.
Yeah.
And all Francis has to do is take those two giant swings, and all of a sudden Stipe's back's on the cage. And that's what happened to Rosenstruck. And does Stipe have again, I think he does, the fight IQ to, if he sees him charging, to circle out and not try and go straight back and cover up. Because if you do that, you're dead. You're dead.
I was going to ask what them being in the smaller cage, what difference will that make this time around, if any?
And the other thing is Francis had never gone 3 rounds before, and Stipe just drug him into deep waters and just basically drowned him out there. But guess what? Let me look at something real quick. He had the most boring heavyweight fight ever right after with Derek Lewis,
which it was only 6 months later. So
right.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. So then he knocks out Curtis Blades in 45 seconds. He knocks out Cain Velasquez in 26 seconds. Knocks out JDS in 1:11 seconds. Knocks out Jardine Rosenstruck in 20 seconds. Guess what? If I'm Stipe, all I'm sitting there going is, I just have to get him to the second, third round. I'll break him again. We haven't seen anything to suggest anything different.
I don't know how Stipe is, and the odds keep going. He's plus 125 underdog. I wish we had somebody on here that was on Ngannou to tell me how he thinks he's going, because I don't see it. Like, I'm trying to find ways to, like, how he wins.
Okay.
Can he catch him and knock him out? We all know he can, but
let's talk about it though, because like where he can knock him out, right? Is he has to get you out of position. He knocked out JDS because he got JDS kind of on the run and out of position. He knocks out Rosenstruck because Rosenstruck wasn't doing the right things. He gets him out of position. Alistair Overeem overextended on a punch and left his chin hanging out there, out of position. His hands are so fast that you cannot get out of position. But again, Stipe did it in the first fight where he never allowed himself in 5 rounds to be out of position.
Yeah.
And he keeps a tight base. He keeps his guard up high. Like, it actually frustrates me that all the hype is on Francis. Like he's just going to run through Stipe. And you know what? If he knocks him out in the first round, good for Francis. Yeah. And like, good for him. Like, I'm not mad at it. I like, me and you talked about it. You listen to him on Joe Rogan. There's no way you can not be a fan.
Huge fan. I wasn't a huge fan until I listened to that episode. And how can you not like and appreciate what that guy had to do to freaking get here? Like,
it's awesome. It's awesome. And he's nice and he's humble. And I watched the press conference yesterday, and they were very complimentary of each other. Like this is a great heavyweight title fight for a crown of the baddest man on the planet. But I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, how can you not look at Stipe and be like, oh yeah, he's still freaking Stipe Miocic, who has, even every time he's had some adversity, he overcomes it in flying colors. And it's just like, oh, and by the way, they even talk about it. John Jones gets the next title fight, right? The winner?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say Francis wins. How do you not give Stipe the immediate rematch of the trilogy? He's the greatest heavyweight champ of all time.
You have to. That's the problem. Is
hey, John, go take a hike. Hey, we'll just send USADA around. He'll go hide under the cage again.
If you like Stipe to win by KO TKO plus 245 or by decision plus 425.
Stipe to win by decision?
Stipe to win by decision is plus 425. How do you not like that or the KO prop?
I love the decision one. The KO one, like, we've just never seen Francis get knocked out.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the smaller cage makes a little bit of the difference, but that's
the thing. Here's the thing. For Stipe to get into range to knock out Francis, that means he's in range for Francis to knock him out. And Francis' hands are faster and longer. His arms are longer, and he has that more one-punch power. Like,
I don't see Stipe getting in that. I think he makes it a dirty fight. Like, he gets him up against the cage. It's dirty boxing. Where he kind of negates. Yeah, he negates that power. He's not going to stand out at range. He's too smart of a fighter to do that. I don't see it, man. I don't see it.
He's going to put him up against the cage and try and drain all that energy out of his arms and legs, so that in the second, third, fourth rounds, the later rounds, it doesn't have the same buzz on him. And I don't care who you are. Francis is a monster, right? But guess what? I don't care. Those fast twitch muscles and things, once the oxygen isn't getting to all those muscles, and he needs a lot of oxygen to get through all those muscles, dude, he's gonna get tired. He carries so much muscle. He's a legit 265 heavyweight. It's almost like finish him in the first or you don't have a chance.
Yeah. I'm excited for it, man. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a damn good one.
Here, you ready for this?
Yeah.
If you want to do the safest thing, you can bet Ngannou wins inside the distance at minus 110. Okay. And then you could take Stipe to win by decision for whatever, because I think that's how Stipe wins.
Plus 425. Yeah.
I think Stipe wins by decision. I think it's 25 minutes of him doing the same thing he did last time.
Yeah, I agree. I don't foresee it being any different than it was last time. Can we talk about your post that you made in the group that everybody's
a
lot of traction?
Dude, I saw it in another group
school versus the new school. It is cool. It's gotten a lot of track, a lot of difference in opinions as well. So those of you that don't know, Zack posted in the group, and he did a little fantasy matchups where you got Demetrius Johnson against Figueiredo. You got 2013 George St. Pierre against 2021 Usman, 2012 Silva against 2021 Adesanya, and then 2013 Kane against 2021 Stipe. And it's pretty even, isn't it? Like, everybody's you got half and half. Would you say
another one that I'd love to see?
What's that?
It's like 2012 Jose Aldo versus Volkanovski now.
Ooh.
That'd be a freaking fight, dude.
That gets interesting. So
all old school.
You went old school. Yep. That's weird. I went all new school except for one.
That's so crazy.
All new school except for DJ.
Okay, so I think DJ's the obvious one, right? I think pound for pound, he's still the greatest martial artist I've ever seen in the cage.
Yeah.
He's so sound everywhere. Wrestling, striking, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, everything. It's insane. I mean, who wins high-level UFC title fights with flying arm bars? I mean, it's insane. But I actually think Figueiredo could have been the one person that would have given him fits with his power.
I think he could. I think he could too.
I like DJ, and I think he wins. I think his fight IQ is too high. Right?
If they fought 10 times, who wins?
I think Mighty Mouse wins 7 of those times.
That's what I was thinking too, 6, 7 times. So we're in agreement on that one, right?
Yep.
Now, St. Pierre, you think St. Pierre beats Usman?
Yeah, he's just the more. I just think he's the more well-rounded mixed martial artist. No,
No, I don't think he does. I don't think he beats him. Usman's too big, too strong. He'll just control him. I saw people on there saying he wouldn't be able to hold him down. I guarantee you Usman would take him down and control him. He's too big. GSP just said it in an interview the other day. The fighters nowadays, they're more athletic, they're stronger, they're bigger, they're faster. And GSP, let's face it, he had some questionable fights where he didn't look that impressive. Johnny Hendricks, Diaz. There's been some stuff in there. And I'm not saying that can't happen to anybody. That's just part of the game. But Usman's made me a believer the last couple fights.
I don't hate it. I think I don't hate it at all. That one doesn't bother me at all, because I think, but I do think that GSP, I think like I think his striking causes some issues. But here's the other thing though. His striking against Bisping was way better than it was back when he was dominating at welterweight too.
Yeah, that's true too.
And so I maybe I forget that a little bit. It's just Usman is so physically imposing. If you're just saying, no, he's too strong for him, he's going to be able to outpower him. Maybe, but I don't know that, I guess, till I actually see it.
Yeah.
Dude, GSP was pretty freaking big. 172.
Yeah.
He's big. I mean, it's not like he was a small welterweight, dude.
Izzy
he went up to 185.
He did. Izzy and Silva was the one that I think was the one that's like, I could stay old school on that one. I could easily stay old school on that one.
I think, I mean, they fought and it was cool, but like,
yeah, but it wasn't. That's not 2012 Silva.
Anderson was like 41 years old when they fought.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, bro, you put Anderson in his prime, best striker in UFC history.
Yeah. That would be, out of all these matchups, that would be the one that I'd be like,
that's the one that it's like, I'd pay, give me all the money, like take all my money. I want to watch that fight. Cause I mean, it would be absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But I think I give the edge to Anderson too, though, because forget Anderson's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Again, it's not just, it's like, well, who's the better striker? We could go back and forth all day on striking and ability and things like that. And there are some ways that, that you could say Izzy has the advantage on the feet. And I wouldn't even be that mad at it. But Anderson's Muay Thai, his clinch work that he used to do was second to none. And, I gotta see more from Izzy. And I mean, I don't care that he lost at 205. Like that doesn't bother me at all. But I got to see more long term from Izzy to be like, yeah, in his prime, he competes with Anderson Silva. I don't know, because here's the other thing: Anderson Silva never had a boring fight like that. That Yoel Romero fight was the most boring thing I've ever seen. Like it was the worst title fight ever, and I just feel like Anderson could have made something happen in that fight.
What about Kane Stipe? That's another interesting one.
See, that one's the most conflicting to me.
Okay, because
Stipe is the greatest resume, body of work. He's the man. But I hold to this, and nobody's going to change my mind on this, because I've watched them all. I've seen all the arguments. I've done it all. That Cain Velasquez is the best heavyweight that's ever walked this planet. And for everybody that's saying Stipe, you got to remember, Daniel Cormier he dropped down to 205 because Cain used to beat him up in the training room.
Yeah, but
DC will tell you that he moved to 205 because he knew that. Okay, that's fair, Ryan Faust. That's fair. That was a boring fight. DC moved down to 205 because he knew that Cain had the higher ceiling at heavyweight. They were the same size. He moved down.
Yeah, because Cain had the higher. Should have been fight anyways. He should have been light heavyweight all along, even though he was wrecking people in Strikeforce.
He never lost at heavyweight until Stipe.
I know.
He never lost. His
I
only loss at heavyweight is to the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. And he says he used to get beat up in the room by Kane.
I just think it's hard to say Kane beats him. I mean, you're really only looking at a 1 year, 2 fights in 2013. Antonio Silva and JDS. That's really it. Dude, Stipe's been doing it for 10 years.
I know. But I'm saying that version of Kane beats every heavyweight ever, strictly because striking was good, elite wrestling, and that the cardio that he had at 240 whatever pounds that he was fighting at is unmatched. It was unmatched. I mean, still to this day, one of my favorite things to watch is him beat up Brock Lesnar. When Brock starts the fight by taking a 15 foot space and charging at him and trying to take him down, and he just stuffs it. Just stuffs Brock Lesnar's takedown.
I think Stipe's too big.
They're the same size.
No,
Stipe's
bigger. No, yeah, but Stipe's 6'4", 3 inches taller, like 4 inch reach advantage too. That one's tough though too. They are hard. They are hard.
That's actually the one that I'm just like adamant about. I think Kane puts a pace on Stipe for 5 that you can't. That the pace that he fought with at that time, it was insane. It was insane.
All right, we'll agree to disagree on that.
He would drown Stipe in the later rounds.
I think the only one that I'm like, okay, is Usman. That's the only one that I'm like, Usman beats GSP.
I think you have me convinced on that one.
That was other than that, I literally could see it. I mean, maybe Silva. You could argue Silva beats Izzy 8 out of 10 times, right? In that prime 2012 Silva.
That guy was the man.
And I could see Figgy. Slapping on a choke or something.
I don't even think a choke. I think he'd have to knock him out. I think Demetrius is too skillful everywhere else.
Yeah.
He'd have to overpower him, which I'm not saying he can't, but I think Demetrius is the most complete mixed martial artist we've ever seen in the UFC.
Fights. He's got a fight lined up soon.
Yeah, April 7th.
Next month. Is it April 7th?
My wife's birthday. Shout out to my wife.
Hey, guess what you're doing on April 7th, Hillary? You're watching.
Not watching ONE FC. I can tell you that. I watched the replay. To Ryan Faust, Kane's longevity was suspect. Absolutely. Kane was on his way to being the GOAT. Injuries and stuff side, he's not the GOAT, but this version of Stipe today versus that version of Kane for one night. We're not talking legacy. We're not talking about greatest of all time. I'm gonna take Kane.
It's a good little debate. I like it.
Hey,
how about LFA tonight?
No.
What?
My favorite women's fighter of all time is back. Miocic Tate.
I love it.
Against Marion Reneau. I thought they were going to get rid of Reneau after that. Then they're like, you're on a 4-fight losing streak after Macy. Would you like to retire? Here's Miocic Tate. Goodbye. Yeah. Gosh. Not doing her any favors.
Triple C is the GOAT.
Jeff, I will fight you. You can come to one hit or send me wherever you would like.
It's not happening, Hillary. He's taking you out. It's not happening. He's taking you out.
That's hurtful. She doesn't want me there on her birthday.
She does. You can't take that, Zach.
No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to. I don't want to watch ONE FC.
Yeah, see, no, Hillary's going to take you out. Go to Fleming's or something.
I'm going to take her out. Well, if it's the boys, we have to go somewhere like loud because Quinn's a monster.
Find a babysitter, man. Go date night. Go to Fleming's and get a tomahawk steak.
Okay, yeah, that looked good.
It was freaking delicious.
Miocic Tate. I'm so excited. And for the record too, I want to say this. She wants to come back to get her belt back. I want her to stay as far away from Amanda Nunes as possible. We've already seen how that works out. And it's not good. She's been away for what, 4 years?
Has it been that long? I think so. I think
so.
you're right.
I
I'm
think
just
it's been
looking at the I'm looking at the LFA card. Hey, that kid that they wanted you to fight's fighting on this card.
What?
That Josh Quaylen kid. Didn't they want you to fight him?
Oh no, I never got
It
off.
wasn't him. Oh.
No.
Oh no,
I was
he's
like-
170. He's 170. He's 4-0 at 170.
Dude, that guy's a monster. He beat Aaron
He's a
Thompson.
He's
He's
a
a
freaking
freak.
beast.
He's a
Dude,
monster.
he was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-0 as a
Amy.
as an AMI down there in Vegas at Tough Enough.
Yeah, no, he's a monster. I've actually been following him for a while.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's on this card. He's a huge favorite tonight too. And we got Spike Carlisle on the LFA, headlining the LFA card tonight.
I didn't even know he was cut by the UFC till I saw that.
But he's fighting a freaking Mongolian dude. I'm not betting against the Mongolian. It ain't happening, bro. Sorry. Spike gets owned by the Mongolian.
You think?
Yeah. I like Spike
Spike's a
Carlisle too.
freak.
But
Spike's a freak, bro.
I'm gonna take the slight underdog. I'm gonna place the bet right now.
How dare you?
I know you already said you were on what's his name, right?
Who?
You're on Spike, right?
I love Spike Carlisle. I'm just gonna go ahead and parlay that with Josh Quinlan right now.
Well, one of us is winning and one of us is losing.
I hope I win. I hope you lose.
Who do you got NCAA tournament this week? Who do you got winning?
Oh,
Who goes on to next week? What did we get? We'll get down to the Final Four next weekend.
For my bracket, I just pray.
Oh, I don't even want to look at my bracket. I don't care. Gonzaga.
I just pray that Gonzaga keeps going.
Dude, they've been rolling everybody.
Okay, so I'm going Loyola Chicago.
I like it. I think
they got something special going. I think Baylor beats Villanova.
I like it.
And Arkansas was just gifted at their Sweet 16 against a 15 seed. That's insane. Oral Roberts is going down. Houston beats Syracuse. I'm going chalk. I'm so boring. Gonzaga.
What about Sunday?
Creighton. Yep, Gonzaga mops Creighton.
Yeah, they've already played once or twice this year, I think, and they beat them by double digits. Have they? They have played.
I don't know. Michigan and Florida State's interesting. Michigan's been suspect a little bit lately.
No, they looked freaking good the other night. They were balling.
Boys,
they were balling
the other night, but that's the thing. It's like they start all over the next weekend. It's like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I am going Michigan. I think Michigan gets it done. Bama. That's sure.
Aren't they the number one 3-point shooting team in the tournament? I think they are.
Yeah. Coached by my guy, Avery Johnson.
I love it. Love Avery Johnson.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite Spurs ever. And then Oregon, USC, little Pac-12 championship game rematch. Is that what that is?
Yeah, Oregon. USC has been looking really good.
USC looks really good. When they played each other, I'm sure
they had to have played.
Who won?
I don't remember. I'm trying to get to
who won when
my computer is going.
When they
slow.
played, they beat Oregon by 14 back in February, a month ago.
I like USC.
I think I'm on the Trojans too. So I literally just went chalk. The highest seeds win every game. So which means I'm probably going to be really wrong. So bet the house on Oregon State, Villanova, Oral Roberts, and Syracuse on Saturday.
And then take UCLA, Florida State, and Creighton on Sunday.
Sure. Take them in the
right.
But is that everything?
Yeah.
They said the what do you think about we haven't talked about the lightweight championship fight, have we?
No, I don't think we have. Did we?
What do you think about Michael Chandler getting the nod over Justin?
I don't have a problem with that. I was just having a conversation with the kid today, and
you were the one that said he couldn't get it.
Okay,
I was arguing for him, and then you were arguing against him, and now we flipped.
You're right. We all know Connor's he's taking the red panty night. We don't blame him. Take it. I get it.
Oh, absolutely. How do you not give Justin Gaethje that fight?
Because he's coming off a loss, man. That's the only thing. And Chandler It's not like he's a scrub and he's just the new guy on the block. The guy was the freaking champ in Bellator. Like he's a legit guy.
Wait a
He
second.
walks.
Who did Justin Gaethje lose to?
He lost to the champ,
Oh,
which is fine.
That's right. So
But everybody else has won one after. He's the only one that hasn't. And now you got Chandler, who has a resume. He comes in the UFC and knocks out a top 6 guy, knocks him out in the first round. Like, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Like,
because he probably gets the winner, right?
Gaethje
probably gets the winner of Chandler.
Wait a second. Why does he get the winner to fight for the title if he can't fight for it now because he's coming off a loss?
Who else is he going to fight?
RDA.
I do like that fight.
Nate Diaz.
I do like that fight. I don't like Nate Diaz. I don't want Nate Diaz anywhere in any top 5, any top 10, nothing. I don't want to hear it. For a money fight, Nate, if there's money on the line and I'm going to have to pay, I want to see Nate Diaz in there. But
sure.
I don't want to him getting a belt. Give him a shot to go after the BMF belt again and get his ass whooped. That's all I care about.
No, but dude, I mean,
it is.
I'm all for Poirier going and getting paid because here's the other thing: if Poirier wins that title fight, and Conor loses his next fight, which is I could see because whoever he fights is going to be a killer, right? That trilogy may never happen ever again. So he has to take it right now.
Take that fight. Let Poirier get the winner for the belt of Oliveira and Chandler, which is going to be Oliveira. So let Oliveira and Poirier fight. Let Gaethje get the money fight with McGregor after.
No.
Why? Let him get paid.
I think Gaethje
he's still there.
I think Poirier beats McGregor this summer in July.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? We both agree with that. Which I did actually hear something that made me rethink that like, I don't know. Anyways, we don't have to talk about that right now. But it's interesting. Who was it? Somebody, I think it was Leon Edwards on the Joe Rogan podcast, was talking about how Conor just has to make a couple of adjustments and get away from that boxing stance, and like that could totally change everything.
Which he will. You have to think he will.
Right. So he makes some adjustments, and he could clip Poirier again. I mean, I could see it. But anyways, so you do that. So I'm just assuming Poirier wins. Then you get Poirier and Oliveira, and then you get Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje fight. That was the fight that we thought was happening anyways.
I really like that matchup. Poirier is the one that's screwing this up because Poirier should be fighting Oliveira for the title, Gaethje and Chandler.
Yes.
And it sucks that Gaethje has to sit back and be like, well, what the hell?
He's odd man out. But Dana did say that he most likely would get the winner. Because
what if Chandler starches Oliveira? It's like,
wow. Then you're going to lose a lot of money. That's what
I am going to lose a lot of money because I'm all over Oliveira on that fight.
I know. I am too. I like Oliveira. I think he wins that fight. But I mean, man, it's like I was like, as soon as they announced it, I think I texted you. I'm like, do Bronx all day, right? And then I'm like, wait a second. He came in and just like starched Dan Hooker,
starched him
bad.
Which both of us were we both bet on Chandler. Like we're like, hey, we could upset him, you know.
I just thought he was being overlooked, but I didn't think he would just come in a couple of minutes and flatline him like that.
Yeah, definitely not that.
So if he could do that to Dan Hooker after Poirier couldn't for 5 rounds in the war they were in, it's like, maybe Michael Chandler does have like the fights Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje. Like that's what I want to see.
I love that fight.
I mean,
I freaking love that fight.
I want that fight, and then I want to see Oliveira and I want to see Poirier. Let Conor go chase Nate Diaz for the trilogy. Let Conor fight.
Or you can't fault Dustin for taking the money fight though. You really can't.
Nobody is, because guess what? If they were in his shoes, they'd do it too.
Yeah. It just shows how irrelevant the belts are.
Do you want the belt, or do you want the payday that sets up your grandkids? You just fought them once and got your kids set up. Yeah. Now do you want the second payday to set up your grandkids? Most people are going to set up that's generational wealth that they're making off fighting Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
By the way, he beats Conor McGregor too. Red Panamite might start to kind of trickle down a little bit. Like at some point, Conor's going to lose steam if he keeps losing fights.
Eventually, what did we say last time? What, 2 fights, 2 more fights?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I mean,
if he loses this one, he's
Poirier, and then he loses to Diaz or something in their trilogy. If that was the next fight, like if he loses 3 fights in a row, that would be what?
Yeah.
Losing 4 out of his last 5. It'd be pretty hard to get him back on headlining.
It'll be if Poirier starches him again. Yeah, Poirier starches him again. But if he makes it a fight and ends up losing like a close decision or something, or makes it competitive, he's still a draw, man.
Go back to being a dickhead, please, Conor. Just like Poirier asked for it. Poirier asked for it.
Yeah. There's some fun fights, man.
I just think Justin Gaethje, like the tear that he was on and what he did to Tony Ferguson and stuff like that, and he lost to Khabib, and it's like, I'm sorry, it's like Poirier, like that didn't make me think any less of Poirier. Like it doesn't make him losing to Khabib does not make you any less worthy to contend for the title now that Khabib's gone. Hey, guess what? He beats all of them.
And dominates
anybody that's like, well, Justin lost to Khabib. Well, guess what? It's just because he fought him. Because guess what? Michael Chandler loses to Khabib. Oliveira loses to Khabib. Poirier loses again. Conor loses again. They all lose to Khabib. So you can't knock him and be like, well, he lost to Khabib. They all lose to Khabib. So ultimately, I think it's okay that he retired.
Yeah. Jeff, Tony's got Benel Dariush next. That's lined up. I can't remember.
Such a horrible matchup for Tony.
Dude,
that's so like they're just putting him behind the pasture to just put him down. Like for real. That's just Dana being like, I'm sorry, bro.
Man. Yeah. Here you go. You can be the gatekeeper now.
He's gonna lose that, and then he's gonna fight Conor. They're gonna let Conor try and beat him up after he's just completely shattered.
Give him a little money fight and say, hey, we'll let you cash out a little bit. You know who?
He'll never be the same after that Justin Gaethje fight. He'll never be the same. That
kid that he's training, and I can't remember his name. He fought a couple weeks ago. I want to say on the LFA card.
Yep,
he's like a mini freaking Tony. That kid is legit.
He was getting beat up, and he just kept coming like the boogeyman, Tony Ferguson style.
Dude, he was throwing those wicked elbows and kicks. I'm like, holy shit, this dude is legit, man.
What if Tony turns into like some like Wing Chun like corner coach thing? He becomes Diego Sanchez, but like cornering other fighters.
You could see that. What? You know who else is fighting on LFA tonight? Vanessa Demopoulos. I like her too.
She's a killer.
She's fun.
Maybe
ground game is slick.
Maybe the move is Josh Quinlan and her.
I like that. Oh. The problem with her, though, is she does get tagged a lot, and she ends up catching people in the submissions. I just don't know enough about RCO to. I do like Quinlan all day. I love Quinlan. Let's do a little research. Yeah.
Okay. We'll end the podcast.
Yeah, we'll get it. We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes now.
Jeff, come to my gym sometime. I'm going to beat you up for trying to make Triple C something that he's not.
Monday we'll do our recap, and then don't we have some announcements to make next week? Is Cody coming on next week?
Yes.
Do we know a day yet?
No. Cody's going to come on. Cody Bunderson's going to come on to announce the next Fierce card for May 14th. May 13th or 14th. One of those 2 days. It's going to be awesome. And then we're going to see Steel Fist.
May 1st.
Steel Fist come back May 1st. I don't think it's officially been announced yet, so I'm not going to break the news without. I don't know if I have the approval to say that.
Who's fighting in the main event? We can't say that. Isn't it already a known thing or no? No, we probably better not, huh? Because they didn't announce it. We'll wait.
Yeah, I just want to be respectful to the promotion.
Yeah, I got it. I get it. Yeah, I don't think they've announced it, but dude, another freaking fireworks card. I'm so excited. Excited.
But just stay tuned. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Local MMA is back, baby.
It's the best.
You would think we're gonna have fans in attendance. Not that we didn't last time, but I would think we're gonna have a lot more fans in attendance.
More and more. It's gonna be good.
Dude, I'm so excited. So excited. Anyways, all right, we'll let you guys get out of here. We out. Thanks for tuning in.
Stipe.